My company clears out houses after people die. Most days, it's just dust and dishes and closets that smell like fabric softener. The job sheet said natural causes, male, 78, no family listed. We were scheduled for 8 hours. I've worked for Restwell Property Services for 6 years. I drive the smaller truck because I'm careful with corners. I label boxes and block letters. I don't open drawers that I don't need to. We aren't cleaners. That's what my supervisor Dana always says. We're facilitators, Dana said during my first week. We return spaces to neutral. Neutral means that everything goes. Furniture, clothes, photos, letters. If it isn't nailed down, it gets cataloged and removed. If there's paperwork, we bag it and send it to intake. Intake scans it and uploads whatever looks official. The house was in a quiet part of town. Brick ranch, yellowed curtains, a ceramic frog by the door. I let myself in with a lockbox code. The air felt stale but not rotten. Someone had turned the thermostat down before he died. It was cold inside. I walked through with my tablet and took the required photos. Living room, kitchen, hallway. One bedroom set up. The second bedroom looked like storage. The bed was stripped. The mattress had a faint white outline where a body had been. I had seen worse. I started in the kitchen. I boxed canned goods. I bagged expired bread. I taped a Sharpie to my wrist like I always do. At 10:17, I opened the hall closet. There were 12 manila folders stacked on the shelf. Each one had a name written in blue pen. Not his name. Different names. Different last names. I figured they were old tax clients or church stuff. I put them in the paperwork bin. I should have left them there. I don't know why I opened one. Curiosity is not part of the job. We're told that during orientation. If you read something, it belongs to you in a way that it shouldn't. The first folder had a photo clipped to the front page. A woman in her 40s, smiling at a birthday cake. Behind the photo was a printed sheet, a list. Work schedule, car model, usual grocery store, morning walk route. It's detailed, I said, like addresses and routines. It's not your lane, Dana said. If it's not contraband, it goes in the paperwork stream. Well, what counts as contraband? I asked. Weapons, cash over 10 grand, illegal material, Dana said. You know the list. I did. So I just bag it? I said. Yes. Don't read it. And she hung up. I stood in the kitchen with the folders lined up on the counter. 12 names. I opened one more. An older man. Grocery list preferences. Pharmacy pickup time. Notes about which days he visited his wife's grave. There were small check marks next to certain dates. I felt a prickle in my arms. I told myself I was making this into something. Maybe he was lonely. Maybe he watched people from his window and wrote things down. Old men do strange hobbies. Still, the details were precise. License plate numbers, apartment numbers, even the time a porch light turned on. At 11:15, I took photos of the folder covers with my phone. Not the contents, just the names. I don't know why I did that either. I sealed all 12 in a red evidence bag. I logged them under miscellaneous paperwork. Then I moved to the bedroom. The nightstand drawer held a spiral notebook. I almost left it, but instead I flipped it open. More names, some crossed out, some circled. Next to a few names, there was a single word. Complete. I closed it and set it back. My mouth felt dry. I checked the death certificate copy we'd gotten. Cardiac arrest, found alone. I tried to picture him following these people. I tried to picture him strong enough to do it. Maybe he just liked knowing. Maybe it never went beyond paper. Around noon, a white sedan slowed outside the house. It idled for a second and then drove off. I watched through the blinds and told myself I was being dramatic. At 12:30, I texted Dana. There's a notebook too, I wrote, similar content. She called me back. Stop digging, Dana said. Box everything. We're already over budget and behind on this one. I think this might be active, I said. What does that mean? Dana asked. Well, some dates are recent, I said, like this month. Then he was writing until he died, Dana said. It happens. Well, what if someone's in danger? I asked. That's not our call, Dana said. We're not law enforcement. I could make a report, I said. To who? Dana asked. Based on what? Notes from a dead man? I didn't answer. If you feel unsafe, then leave, Dana said. Otherwise, finish the job. She softened her voice a little. You don't want to be the guy who goes outside process, she said. It gets messy. I knew what that meant. We're contractors. We're replaceable. I put the notebook in the bag with the folders. I finished the bedroom. Clothes into contractor bags, photos into archive boxes. One framed picture caught my eye. A man, younger, standing next to a woman and a little girl. On the back, in marker, somebody had written 1998. There were no other family photos displayed. At 2 o'clock, there was a knock at the door. I froze. Another knock. Hello? A woman called. Is anyone there? I stepped onto the porch. She was maybe 45, brown hair pulled back, holding a phone in her hand. I'm sorry, she said. I used to check up on Mr. Halpern. I saw the truck. We're with Restwell, I said. We're handling the property. I just wanted to ask, she said. Did you find a folder with my name on it? The air felt thin. I'm sorry, I said. We can't release that information. My husband and I, she said, and then stopped. We got a letter last week, no return address. She looked past me into the house. It had details, she said. Things only someone watching us would know. My stomach tightened. Have you called the police? I asked. They said unless there's a threat, there's nothing they can do, she said. I thought maybe he was confused. He used to stand at his window. She swallowed. Did you find anything? She asked. I heard Dana's voice in my head, not your lane. All paperwork is processed centrally, he said. If there's something relevant, it goes to the estate. There is no estate, she said. He didn't have anyone. We stood there for a few seconds. I'm sorry, I said again. She nodded. She looked embarrassed for asking. If you do find something, she said, my name is Laura Benton. She said it slowly, like she wanted me to remember it. I watched her walk back to the car. Laura Benton. I had seen that name at 10:17. I went back inside and locked the door. My hands were shaking a little. I told myself it was adrenaline from the interruption. I reopened the red bag, flipped through the folders until I found hers. There were more pages than I remembered. Her work address, her daughter's school pickup time, a note about Tuesdays being later because of piano lessons. At the bottom of the last page, in small writing, was a date. It was 2 days from now. I stared at it. There was no word next to it, no check mark, just the date. I imagined intake scanning this, a clerk uploading it into a system that flags tax documents and insurance forms. I imagined it being stored under Halpern, Marvin, deceased, closed file. I put everything back in the bag. I carried the bag to the truck. I stood there with the back doors open. If I left it out, it would be noticed. If I called the police, I would have to explain why I'd been reading it. I pictured Dana's face if she found out. At 3:15, I closed the truck doors. I finished the house by 4, vacuumed the hallway, wiped down the counters, removed the ceramic frog from the door. Before I left, I walked into the living room one more time. The blinds were half open. You could see straight down the street. You could see who left for work, who came home early, which houses had dogs. It was a good vantage point. On my way back to the office, I kept thinking about the date on Laura's page. 2 days. I told myself maybe it meant nothing. Maybe it was just another day he meant to write something. When I got to intake, I handed over the red bag. Standard paperwork, I said. The clerk scanned the barcode. Anything sensitive? She asked. Just personal records, I said. She nodded and slid it into a gray bin. That was it. On my drive home, I passed a white sedan pulled over on the shoulder. A woman stood next to it, talking on her phone. For a second, I thought it was her, but it wasn't. I don't know what happened 2 days later. We don't get updates. Once a job is closed, it's closed. But every time I drive past that neighborhood now, I find myself looking at the houses. I think about 12 folders on a shelf. I think about a date written in small, careful numbers. My company clears out houses after people die. We return spaces to neutral. We don't ask who is being watched from the window.